Especially because, like I wanted to legalize marijuana, especially because of the medical benefits from it. And there's still states where it's not legal. And it's like, nowadays, I mean, it's just ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. But regardless, oh, and also because, apparently, I had a friend commit suicide and cigarettes were related to it. It's a complicated type of thing. I was also hypnotized to draw FBI with a little eye and then an eyelash coming out of it, right? I think they did that to make me keep drawing, right? Uh, when it's an actual criminal investigation, it's actually evidence. But, because it's concealing evidence. It's a method of concealing evidence. That's what this is. Because, I mean, if you're like, that's like, those doodles aren't evidence, like, nope. Those are doodles to be convicted by because they're concealing evidence. In fact, that's interesting. Let's see. I was writing a witness statement. Donald Trump commits murder, and then the R in the word murder was written in bold. The C and the word. Wait, hold on. Commits murder of McKay Cody James. Hypnosis used to conceal evidence. Okay, I don't know what else I wrote, to be honest. Or what I was trying to write. Because it's covered up with pictures. It's concealed. The evidence is concealed. Literally. With, pictures. Like, I've showed this picture a lot on my Facebook before. See the stick figures, as an example, and then the river of waves. Ow, my back. And, anyways, I could go ahead and elaborate here. The R was, the C and the R, were written in bold to draw attention away from the word murder written on the page. And, ow, ow, and ow, and ow, and ow. My back. So, anyways, yeah, there's that, right? I can go into, I explained this, right? Apparently they sent Billie Eilish death threats just to cover it up, that it ever happened. Well, to draw attention away from Donald Trump and to put it on her. And also to turn what I'm talking about, change what I'm talking about from murder into death threats, because death threats aren't technically as bad as murder is, right? That's why they did that. Regardless, it's a long story. The links are actually posted on my Facebook. Let's see. Hypnotized to draw mountains, meaning intermountain healthcare, right? And that also correlates with Valium, because that one's kind of complicated. I was also hypnotized to draw hearts, and that to think that I was supposed to mean Justin Bieber in Heartbreaker. And I was hypnotized to draw a Playboy Bunny, and that was supposed to mean Ariana Grande. I was hypnotized to draw a I was sent it. Ow! 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 My back! Ow! I was hypnotized to draw like a clock face at first, right? Not necessarily a pocket watch. Because I wasn't exactly even sure how to draw a pocket watch, or like even put the connection between the two together, right? And where I'm talking about being hypnotized to draw stuff. Oh, okay, right. Well, anyways, I was feeling suicidal. And I remember I drew like a clock, and I remember I was hypnotized to draw Make a Wish. Oh wow. Yes. I needed this. This makes sense. Because I was also hypnotized to draw everything I wanted on the same logo with the little star and shooting a little beam of light. And I was hypnotized to think it was kind of similar to like the more you know. This isn't funny and this isn't cool. But yeah, so because I was told that the Make-A-Wish Foundation was supposed to give me everything I wanted, right? And that they told me that Billie Eilish made that song just for me, and ow, my back. She got well, I mean, ow, and ow. John Matthew Hurl. I have evidence indicating that John Matthew Hurl was under the influence of hypnosis and inhibited while writing to her. And he was trying to send her warnings. And I believe that this could have been pretty easily done as well, just by separating two different contexts, right? And it would have been used to make him look crazy too. Make him look like he was threatening to kill her instead of warning her about it. Wow. And then, like talking about the government like he's crazy. But when you put the two and two together with what I'm talking about, because this gets pretty bad because, I was hypnotized to draw a little chain above the, above a little watch, right? Well, not above a clock face, right? And that it was supposed to mean no, time to die. And I didn't even know what that meant at first, right? But when I'm talking about my friend being hypnotized to commit suicide, right? Well, with a hypnosis, right? Look at the time. It's time to die. Kill yourself, right? Basic. Literally, that's pretty sick, actually. Ow, my back. And, that's another thing is they're trying to frame me, right? So they're trying to make me look bad. They try to hypnotize me to smile when I'm trying to talk about the word murder. Ow. And then, ow, and ow. This is not cool. Yeah, but anyways, they hypnotized me to feel pain when I resisted post-hypnotic suggestions too, and they're trying to make me look bad, right? If they can't make me look bad, I guess. And I was hypnotized to think that it meant you can't be sexy for it. Because if you try to pop your back, that's not very sexy. I'm gonna, just like hyperventilating. There we go. It's like diseased acting, right? Ow. Ow. Ow, that hurt. Ow. And I was also hypnotized to because they had me smell like an essential oil when I was in the emergency room. And I was hypnotized to make this face, right? And where I scrunch up my face. And to think that it was a stink face. They told me that the reason that they had me smell the essential oil was supposed to be like an aromatherapy, right? Which, I mean, didn't have any actual therapeutic correlation, to be honest. But I did notice it when I was in Walmart. Because I would have I would smell something that wasn't there, right? Like a particular scent. And also when I would realize, I think when I was thinking if I had evidence of murder, I was cute to smell it sometimes too. I'm not 100% sure. But they financially exploited me a lot, and I was hypnotized to feel euphoria with it too. Ow. And I think they did that because they wanted to try to, be able to financially exploit me and not have me feel anxious trying to shop or something along those lines. Especially because I used to hyperventilate in stores and have ambulances called on me for trying to shop. Um, so, I mean, that would make sense why they would hypnotize me to feel euphoria for that. They also really needed to force me to listen to Billie Eilish's music so that I would stop talking about murder as an example. Moving on. But yeah, so, and that, like, I mean, going into murder with hypnosis, right? So, you know, like, you can kind of tell from my behavior, right? Well, I'm not going to stop talking about it. Hypnosis can control some things, right? Hypnosis can have control over a lot of things that used to be voluntary, or even completely involuntary, like mucosal production, right? I mean, you can never control that consciously, but with, I mean, you can affect it consciously based off your emotional state, right? If you're crying or something, you can affect it. But other than that, you can't consciously control it. Well, hypnosis can repress mucosal production or initiate it as well. Crazy, huh? Freaking colds, right? Never had to take cough medicine again. Not the point. But yeah, so there's that, and there's a lot of evidence around this, and I mean, without the complete context for understanding, it's difficult to understand, right? It's a very long, elaborate story. I'm trying to also elaborate more here. Haven't even gone through half these pictures. I've been talking in a circle. This is horrible. Wow. Okay, I see what's going on here. Well, I found out, I was also supposed to hypnotize to draw a rat because I'm an experiment. And because I'm ratting on them, right? Snitching. Lovely. Yeah, this is difficult for me to finish right now. Let's see. I was hypnotized to draw an hourglass. Hypnotized to draw a cradle, which is a reference to a song that's called Cradles. And I mean, it's a that is a long reference, right? There is a lot in that song and that music video of references to a lot of different things. But it was supposed to also reference a hypnotic seal. And then I was supposed to draw a sailboat, which was supposed to mean ADHD, because of the song Sail by AWOL Nation. I was hypnotized to draw a bell, and to think that it meant Donald Trump because he was a hotel owner. You know, like when you ring the bell at the front desk in a motel or hotel. And then a bird in a cage was also supposed to represent Charlie Sheen has AIDS. And it was also supposed to represent the jail, right? Because when I was hypnotized to hold that, like hold this in my, well, I mean, you know, like hold my hands in a ball, right? With my fingers spread apart specifically. Very specifically, right? Like not like in a ball like that. Like, you know, two hands together like this. Which you can't see on this phone, but, you know, like that and that connected with each hand. Anyways, so, you know, like holding my hands like that. And, like it was supposed to actually, and I was hypnotized to think that it didn't mean, that it actually wasn't like the world, right? Like the symbolism of the metaphor, right? It was actually a bird cage, right? And to imagine, to remember a certain girl, I'm not going to specify her name, who, I believe was also hypnotized. Ow, my back. Ow, my back. Now my back. So like anyways, like I was hypnotized to think that it was like a bird cage, and that like you know, to imagine splitting my hands open and freeing a bird. Be free, birdie, be free, right? And I kind of get the reference because like a jailbird, right? That's what that meant. That's why it's a bird in a cage, jailbird. Okay, I didn't even notice that until now. I didn't know that until now. Music note. Hypnotized to draw like a puppet on strings and a stick figure on it. Hypnotized to draw someone flying a kite, a little bow, a present wrapped up with a neat little bow on top, clouds and rain, and an umbrella, which is supposed to reference the hospital that I was hypnotized in. I don't know why they would do that. That's pretty bad, right? And then, let's see. A door was supposed to reference Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is a song by Guns N' Roses that my mom listened to a lot. And it was a reference to like organ failure or dying, right? A bomb. That I was hypnotized. Well, a nuclear explosion type of thing, not like a bomb, like drawing the bomb itself, but the explosion, the whatever it's called, looks like whatever, you know. I think there's a word for it. Whatever, you know what the explosion looks like, right? Anyways, yeah, I was hypnotized to draw one of those to stop me from drawing trees. Hypnotized to draw a heart question mark, or a question mark that kind of looked like a heart. I was hypnotized to draw, this thing was weird, right? It was like when I drew like a 3 or an E, and then I just kind of changed it a little bit. Oh, I was also hypnotized to draw a variation, an alteration of the NBC symbol. I thought it was like the actual NBC symbol, but it wasn't, luckily, right? There is a, you know, this was actually done, and this is evidence because they didn't want me to draw pot leaves, right? Well, there were 7 points on this thing. So technically, right, like, I mean, that's literally like evidence, you know what I mean? Because they didn't want me to draw pot leaves. It's also a second form of evidence because they wanted me to use a trademark logo of News Corporation just to keep me from being able to be put on the news for it. Because there would be like a trademark or copyright violation, right? And wow, you know, with the technicality, right? Like ow. Why was I hypnotized to tap? That's weird. With the technicality, though, anyways, right? I mean, it's just really good evidence, right? Because, you know, like, that's not exactly very much of a, that's not something that I'd exactly make up. And where I was talking about covering up trees, well, the explosion from like a nuclear bomb, right, is wider on the top and bottom, right? Kind of like how you would draw an eye, you know, a capital I. And then in the middle, it's very thin. Hypnotized to draw crosses too, and if I drew a giant cross that was sideways, I was hypnotized to think of it was another reference to South Park, Marvin the Martian, which I can get into also later. That makes sense too, because those two are correlated, the cross and the puppet thing, because, you know, like the puppet thing looks like while the you know, the strings are being held by 2 like sticks that are like held together, right? You know how a puppet string strings work, right? Well, anyways, that makes sense, especially with the correlation that they tried to imprint on it, because they both actually correlate to a hypnotic seal. And I mean, although, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Not the only thing, but hypnotized. Oh, the bow was also supposed to draw that into like angel wings with a little halo for a stick on top of a stick figure. The bow was also supposed to be used for to represent like a diploma, right, over a cylinder drawing. And then it was actually supposed to like, and this is something interesting, right? Because at first I thought like the song "Full-Time Cappers" meant like this is where you know I'm being real too. This is really bad because I was hypnotized to this was before I got hypnotized actually. And I'm going to explain something here. So I was getting abused a lot by doctors and psychologists, therapists, right? So I I was actually getting abused so much, especially because of the medications and almost dying because of medical care, right? And medical negligence. Well, I almost did a public shooting in a hospital and almost shot up an emergency room. Instead, I almost bought a shotgun and just shot up an emergency room, just, shooting up doctors, right? That's not cool. But this was back in 2017, like 5 years ago. You know what I mean. Anyways, regardless, when I used to still hyperventilate, even more evidence of it, right? Well, regardless of such, right? Because I don't hyperventilate anymore. And that's not something that I really, you would think a person would really be able to make up, right? Like, your hyperventilation syndrome and PTSD from being abused by doctors made you almost shoot up an emergency room. But instead of shooting up an emergency room, you took all your anger out on making petitions to try to change the world and help, petitions and programs to try to change the world and help people. That's literally what I tried to do. And then I was also hypnotized to draw like a square little brim going down, and then like a little tassel coming off of the square, right? And I was hypnotized to think that was like a degree and a graduation cap, right? Like a capping gown from graduating, and a diploma, right? And for the song "Full-Time Cappers" by G-Eazy, and this is also like where G-Eazy's music and Eminem's music stopped me, and Joyner Lucas actually as well. One of the songs that Joyner Lucas was on with Eminem, actually helped me enough to stop me and prevent me from doing a school shooting. Well, G-Eazy's son Lux, Joyner Lucas, and Eminem, right? Because son Lux was featured on the song with G-Eazy too. So like full-time cappers, right? Thinking like shooting, right? That's what I was hypnotized to think that meant, and it was a reference to like how his music helped me, right? Because like music was all I had to really help my PTSD. So when you really take an entire look at this thing, right, it gets really bad. These drawings are not something that there's hardly any that don't represent, holy cow, that don't represent like some type of a song in some way. I really like music, but regardless, all right, so, the Full-Time Cappers, what I was actually hypnotized to think that the song meant though, instead of like a shooting, I talked about the diploma and the graduation cap, right? I was hypnotized to think that the people that I was messing with were full-time cappers, or in other words, these people were like college graduates, and they were extremely intelligent and dangerous. Um, like a tree was something I was able to draw before, right? To prevent me from drawing a tree. Well, I mean, because my friend, when he committed suicide because he was hypnotized, hanging from a tree, and nuclear power. I was hypnotized to draw to mess up the tree, right? Because I tried to draw roots on the tree, right, to make it look more like a tree, and then mess up the roots, so then it would look like a nuclear power fission thing, right? And then I was hypnotized to mess that up and turn it into a bomb. Lovely, right? A ticket, kind of like referencing like a movie of some sort. Hypnotized to draw a little mouse with a curly tail, meaning that I was an experiment, like a lab rat. Hypnotized to draw a dead person. Not very graphic to the dead person, just kind of like the silhouette of a person that would be like laying down on the ground with like a little flower sticking up from the chest. So not graphic by any means, like kind of the stuff you would see on like kids' cartoons, right? Where like a cartoon character dies and they have like a flower just pop up out of their chest, out of their hands or whatever, right? Anyways, and it's nice to draw a phone because I wasn't able to call any of my friends or family. And it's nice to draw TV because I wanted to go on TV and talk about the petitions and programs I designed to try to help people and try to change the world. And that I was hypnotized to prevent me from doing that. And then I was hypnotized to draw, so like